When I married Beth, before I married Beth, I had a big decision to make because I came out of my first marriage at 10 years with no kids. And I thought that was the way I wanted to go, and that was the way I wanted to go. But when I came out, I could have done anything really. I could have moved to Montrose if I even thought about it, but I didn't. But I could have. I could have done anything. But I thought, well, I'll just hang loose with her a bit, work, make some money up, save some dough, and see where I end up. Well, lo and behold, a year later, my heart, a little bit more after than that, my heart took me to Beth, and I fell for her pretty hard. I truly did. And she came with 2 kids from her first marriage. So it was a bit of a day of reckoning, really, to think about that, because I didn't really feel like father material, And as it turns out, I was perfectly correct in that. But I decided to ignore my initial feeling, and I thought, I'm just going to get married to Beth, And so I went to talk to my mom, because you should always talk to your mom when you're faced with something like that. And I went to Mom and I said, hey Mom, I said, I've done a lot of thinking about things. I said, I'm going to get married to Beth, and I'm going to take those kids on as mine. And that's going to be my family. What do you think of that? And with typical Scots enthusiasm, my mother said, hung for a sheep as a lamb, son, away you go. So with that rousing endorsement, Beth and I got married, and my mom finally came around about 12 years later. She made it around to that. But then I realized, oh man, I'm inheriting a 14-year-old girl, The youngest one was no problem, but then I thought, 14-year-old girl, this is going to be a disaster, I was 14 years old was when I went off the rails with my dad, and he was a lovely man. But, as soon as he said black, I said white as fast and hard as I could. And I just picked a fight with him. I picked a fight with the loveliest man that ever walked. No bad word to say about anybody, my dad. If he didn't like you never heard a word about it, But my mother had made up for that in spades. She didn't like anybody, and she was no problem telling you, So I had a balanced childhood, as they say. But anyway, I was expecting the worst. But, again, my luck held, and I got the best. I got this wonderful kid. At 14, she was incredible. And she was, literally kind and helpful and happy and warm and charming and just a wonderful person, funny and all that stuff. At 14, she did turn 16, and that was the end of all of that in a big hurry. But by that time, it was far too late. And anyway, she talked to me about school, and things weren't going that good in high school. She just entered it. And then she says, things aren't going good, David. The boys don't even look at me. And I said, well, Amy, I said, I wouldn't worry about it, sweetheart. It's only been like a week. You got to give them some time, And I said, I was 14 years old not that long ago, and I said, I remember it quite well. And I said, there was a girl who held my heart in her hand every single day, but I never got a word out to her because I was very, very short and extremely homely. I said, I had no chance with that girl. So I said, it didn't change the fact of how I felt. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, a young man called, and it was all over, and Amy was as happy as a clam for the rest of her high school life. So I was glad about that. But it did make me wonder that, only thing that changes in high schools are fashion. Fashion changes. Fashion changes year to year. Hair gets long, hair gets short, skirts get long, skirts get short, pants get thin, pants get wide. And the actual example I use these days is my own son, who's the nicest boy you'd ever meet. He's 6'3". He's as kind as all get out. He's very, very smart. And he's as gentle as a man can be, I suppose, without being a pushover, But the last thing I see of this lovely boy in the morning when he was going to get his bus was his boxer shorts, because he wore his pants off his arse. And so this year, he's decided to wear them on his arse, and I think that's a great thing. I'm all for that. And when he was in the midst of that, wear your shorts somewhere, or your pants somewhere down around the back of your knees, I would never get upset, because he'd be going out of the house, and I would think to myself, it could be worse. He could wear a thong. Always a bright side. Anyway, this is a song I wrote for my daughter Amy, who I love very much, and her name is, she was 14 when I wrote this song. It's called Broken Glass. Very simple chorus if you want to get a hold of it. It'd be great. Saw you standing in the cafeteria lane, and I given the world just to make you mine. Saw you at your locker in the high school hall, and it didn't take a minute for my heart to fall when you hear a sound like broken glass. That's my heart every time that girl walks past. And when you hear a sound like the rush of wind, just be catching my breath again. Saw you on the bus on the way back home, couldn't think of anything much to say except I'll love you forever till my dying day. When you hear a sound like broken glass, that's my heart every time that girl walks past. And when you hear a sound like the rush of wind, just be catching my breath again. Seeing her now makes me think of then. I remember how and I remember when you go to a party hoping that she's sure, and you dance in the darkness of Abbey Road. And when you hear a sound like broken glass, that's my heart every time that girl walks past. And when you hear a sound like the rush of just be catching my breath again. When you hear a sound like broken glass, that's my heart every time that girl walks past. And when you hear a sound like the rush of wind, just be catching my breath again.